Hey everyone, my name is Jim and I wanted to do a short follow-up video to address some of the common questions that came up my previous video. Now I'm not going to answer everything individually, but I clarify a few important points to set expectations and everybody stay aligned. Okay, question number 1. Why don't you share the strategy in detail? Now this comes up a lot on my Telegram, on the emails, on Discord. A lot of people asking me that, and the reality is that investors don't invest in strategy. Okay, they invest in execution, on risk control, on discipline. They invest on the person. Even if I tell you the strategy, if you haven't done any work, I mean, you won't be able to execute. On top, you cannot simply buy 14 years of experience that I have, neither all the crazy things that I have seen, because it's different. Someone might have 50 years experience, another one have 10 years experience, but in those 10 years experience, a lot of things might have happened. In this case, we have the last 6 years now actually are crazy, from the flu disease that had global effect over the entire world, multiple wars, multiple peace treaties, the presidency on the United States that can literally shake the markets. So it's not only about the years that someone is active on the markets, but the stuff that he might have seen. Okay, now I want also to point out that, and this is another great point, that strategy mechanics are only just one part of the outcome. Okay, and it's also the easiest thing to misunderstand and misuse, because there are it's not just only the mechanical stuff that matter. Let's just leave it like that. Okay, now Aeronra is transparent about philosophy, risk framework, portfolio behavior. We don't give the proprietary execution details or the tools that I have built for in-house, that we use in-house. So if someone's goal is to replicate trades, this is not designed for that. This is not a copy trading service. Nobody in copy trading world have actually make money. Okay, on the contrary, everybody that have invest in funds, from Jim Simmons to Warren Buffett, they have made millions and billions. All right, if you heard anybody that made any money in copy trading, they simply lie to you. Okay, and this is the easiest way to fall victim into that. The only person that makes money is the one that's selling the signal. Consistent monthly returns. Even though we have great returns, okay, I want to set up the expectation that the goal here is long-term longevity and make a lot of money in long term and be sustainable. We won't chase numbers just for the sake to chase numbers. Okay, last year was amazing. It's almost all self-funded between me, my father, my brother, a cousin, and few other people, and we made 500%. It doesn't mean that this year we aim for 500%. Now 500% is across all portfolios. okay, and the market actually moved multiple times, so we were able to capitalize and capture a lot of those moves, okay. Now Aeronra, again, we are not optimized for smooth equity curves, we are optimized for survivability, which means very important and very clear. The number one rule of trading is capital preservation, okay. Now that also means that I'm accepting that maybe 1 month opportunity might not be there. I'm not gonna chase an opportunity if the opportunity is not present, okay. It can be a flat month, it can be a negative month. Also, it doesn't mean if 1 month is negative, so far we didn't have, but I want to set up the expectation, because when we look our data, we look the long term, okay? We don't look today, yesterday, we don't look stuff day by day, okay? Also, other periods carry, a lot of returns. It doesn't mean that because, let's say, on August we made 50%, we aim to do that on September, okay. We don't control the market, we just follow along, okay. Also, I need to state something very clear, that trying to make every month positive, it usually leads to hidden leverage, over trading, risk expansion. This happens a lot if someone have a negative month, so we don't do that type of stuff, and this is not a trade-off that I'm willing to make here. I can do whatever I want on my own personal stuff, but not here, okay. Now another question, what happens during drawdowns, okay. This is a question that I actually received yesterday from someone that he was thinking about it, and here is the reality, okay. In our case, our drawdown is predefined. We know our risk, okay. We know how much we risk, we accept the risk, okay, and essentially drawdown doesn't matter because it's how it's handled, okay. We already know the risk that we take per trade. That what this person meant or thinking was about having a position open without stop loss or hard stop loss, and just try to navigate that, essentially dream and hopes that the market reverse on that, or build multiple positions as the market moving against, okay. Now this is not something that we do here. Usually, just as a side note, this is a strategy a lot of Indians, Pakistani, and a lot of people on YouTube shows that, okay, the market move against you, increase the risk, you need smaller move, and then try to exit in every position. We don't essentially open a position without stop loss. Our risk is predetermined, okay, per trade or per trade idea. So again, maybe he mean what will happen if you hit multiple stop losses, which again is part of the, of accepting the risk, okay. Now this comes to place the management, plays big part because the risk is reduced, we select more high quality trades, and we go from there again. And that's why we use stop loss on every position, and it is to prevent small drawdown to become, a large one, okay. Capital protection always take priority over opportunity, very important, okay. Next question, who should actually follow or invest. Okay, now this is for people who think in years, not weeks. Okay, there is a company right now popping up called Aeronra. Okay, and by the way, if this doesn't describe you, that's okay. You don't need to invest here. And if you think that you could do better on your own, go and do it. But here, what matters is alignment. Alignment matters most than more than actual numbers. Okay, and back to the Aeronra example. Okay, they are here for 10 years, and right now they are valuated about 8 billion or 12 billion Australian dollars. Actually, funny story, Aeronra, an investor invest in that, a woman actually, and they were over a coffee, and that woman said to the CEO, hey, what are you gonna do? And he said, you know what, I'm exiting my coffee business, I'm gonna go and start this Aeronra company, and I'm gonna go and raise capital. Okay, how much you need? He said, I don't know, 1-2 million. And the woman said to him, how about I invest 2 million and get 40% of the company? The company haven't even created, haven't even formed. Okay, now that guy said, you know what, I don't want to give 40% of the company, maybe I want the capital, maybe I get 1 million and give her 20%. Now, and obviously the woman accept, and right now that woman turned that 1 million, that is 10 years ago, okay, to 1.6 billion. Okay, 1 million to 1.6 billion. Okay, and the company is just starting out. So imagine we would be those investors, because this is what Aeronra is. It invests in opportunity. We try to find opportunities. And actually, you know what? Don't take my word for that. I will attach the words from the owner himself, and judge on your own. And if you want to then say, okay, I see some value, maybe I want to invest, you click here, apply to invest. You can watch obviously performance, you create your account, and from inside your account you can fund, you can follow the steps, see how you can, the money, where you send the money to the company, and obviously there are legalities of things, you see them inside the platform. And yeah, essentially we bring, one of the good things of Aeronra is to bring the investment side of things to the average Joe, which that average Joe doesn't have access to those opportunities. He doesn't know what to do, how to do it. He maybe doesn't have the financial education, and many more things.
One day, I just finished work on Friday. I went to the coffee shop to catch up with Max, another co-founder of Aeronra, and I said, I'm going to resign. Let's just do this seriously. And I met a girl who is a friend of Max, called Lucy. She's kind of curious about the coffee business. She's like, oh, I want to talk to you more about coffee business, and maybe I can invest in this coffee business. And then we say, oh, let's just grab dinner, right? So we grab dinner, and then she's like, and then blah, blah, coffee business. And I was like, actually, you know what? I'm actually going to really keep investing in this coffee business. I'm going to start a new business that really revolutionizing cross-border payments and then fundamentally changing how money move around the world. And then she's like, oh, tell me more about it. And, because I was like, oh, I have the background in FX and I'm an engineer and my co-founder was like a genius engineer. I made a pitch. And she's like, how much money are you raising? I'm like, oh, I'm probably going to raise $1 million US. And she's like, what about if I give you 2 million? This is a girl that you met for the first time in your life and you only talked for like less than an hour. And then she's like offering you $2 million. I was like, for how much of the company? It's like, I'll give you $2 million for 40% of the company. Initially my reaction was, should I take it serious? But then she's like, let's meet at like 8:00 tomorrow and we go deep on this. I'm like, okay. So I feel that she's serious. So we went to the law school on, I remember Saturday. This is like the second day I met her. And she basically negotiated with me for 3 hours. By 11 o'clock, and we agreed that she's going to invest $1 million because I don't want her own 40% of the company. She's going to invest $1 million at $5 million post for 20% of the company. And her husband was there strongly against it. We're going to use this money to buy houses and we're going to have a family. What are you doing? She's like, I'm king, and I actually wanted to join these guys. And she just pushed that through, and we just end up agreed verbally that we're going to do the deal. The crazy thing is, this is before even I resigned from my full-time job in ANZ, and this is before I even have a company registered. Then like by Monday, I got a text message from my bank account. It's like, you got $1 million US wire to your personal bank account. Just didn't expect that she would just wire without anything signed. So like literally I got the money 3 days, over the weekend after the first time I met her. And that ended up probably one of the best investment people ever made. I mean, this is like a girl that 25 years old or 24 and never made any investment. It's her first investment.
You're turning a 1 million there into $1 billion.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.